So today we are going to study dative cases. Დღესდღეობით ვისწავლით მიცემით ბრუნვას. So today we are going to study dative cases. So what is the dative case? We've learned about nominative cases, which can be the subject for a phrase or a sentence, right? That was the first case. And then we've learned about possessive cases. For example, Nino's book or Georgi's water or something. Georgi's qari, Nino's tsiguni, etc., etc., right? It's about the belongings, etc., etc. And as for the dative cases, it refers to the object. It refers to the object. For example, I read a book. Here, a book is an object for the verb read, right? For the verb reading, right? So using dative cases, we can refer to the object for the verbs. And the way of making a dative case is relatively easy, as I wrote on the slide here. You just need to add s at the end of the letter, at the end of the word. But there is one rule here. First of all, if the nominative case for the word is e, you have to remove it, and then we can add s. For example, sahli, right? Sahli. The nominative case here is e. That's why first of all, we have to remove this e and then add s. Sahli, sahlu, sahlus, sahlus. That's the dative case for the word house. Sahli, house. Sahlus, object, right? And the same rule is applied for the word tsigni. Tsigni, e. We have to remove this word letter e, tsigens, and it's now it's a dative case for the word a book. And the third example here, tsqari, water, right? Water. And again, the last letter, the nominative case for this word is e. So that's why we have to get rid of this e and then add s, tsqals. For example, I drink water, right? In this case, water is an object, so we have to use this word, tsqals. And for the other words, not ending with e, ending with the other vowels such as a, e, or, etc., etc., we don't need to do anything. We can just add directly. We can add s. For example, tree, right? It doesn't end with e for the nominative case. So ches. It's easy, right? The same rule. The same goes for the word kata, cat. Kata, katas. And the last example here, chvinos, because it ends with the letter o for the nominative case. It's easy, right? So if you the main rule here is that you have to add s to make a dative case. And actually, there are some postpositions in Georgian which demand dative cases. For example, we've actually learned about this. The postpositions shi, meaning in English, or postposition z, meaning on in English, actually require the dative cases. But these proportions here, she and ze, are kind of exceptions because they do require dative cases. But in this case, the dative marker of s actually drops out. So what does it mean? For example, sahlshi, we've learned this before, right? Theoretically and grammatically, it could have been like sahurusushi, because it should be a dative case. But since the postposition here is she, su actually drops out. So Georgian people say sahurushi. The same goes for 지근제. The dative case for the word 지근이 would be 지근스. So it could have been 지근제, but the su here drops out because there's postposition z. So they say 지근제 on the book. 지근제. You don't say 지근스제, right? And 해제 as well. 해스제. It's not correct. 해제. One of my professors I studied with told me that grammatically it does require dative cases, but su drops out because it's very hard to pronounce three consonants at the same time here. For example, sahurusushi, right? Lu consonant, su consonant, shi consonant. So it's very hard for Georgian people to pronounce. That's why the su actually dropped out. It just makes sense. It's kind of hard for us as well to pronounce, like, sahurusushi or 지근스제 or 해스제 or something. So that's why su drops out here when we use the postpositions of she and ze. And there are other postpositions which require dative cases, but we will learn about this later on. Okay. And the last thing that we want to learn is that when the e, the nominative case marker e, for the adjective modifying the word, modifying a noun, actually drops out. So what does it mean? For example, did sahuri, right? A big house, didi sahuri. But if you want to say in a big house, in the house, it would be like sahurushi, right? It's a dative marker. It's a dative case, right? In this case, the letter e of the adjective word actually drops down. So that's why did sahurushi. You have to say did sahurushi and not didi sahurushi. It's kind of complicated here, confusing, but you will get to know and you will get used to it. So whenever you use the word in the dative case and there is an adjective modifying the word, the noun, the e, the nominative case maker, it actually drops out. But if the adjective doesn't end with e, for example, atara, this rule doesn't apply for this. For example, atara 해제, it's correct because it doesn't. It ends with the letter a and not e. So you can say atara 해제, but you can't say didi sahurushi. Right? It's kind of complicated, but you will get used to it. I'm sure about that. So we've learned three important things. First of all, I think the most important, the way of making a dative case, adding su, right? That's the dative case maker, su. And the second, there are some postpositions requiring dative cases such as she and ze. They are kind of exceptions, but there are some proportions which demand the dative cases. And third, e for the adjective modifying the noun in dative cases actually drops down or is omitted. So we've learned three things here in this video, especially about dative cases. And let's take a look at the examples. Especially the dative cases are used when we use verbs. For example, we cannot say, it's very important to remember the dative case because otherwise we cannot say like I drink water, you read a book, or he buys a house or something, because most of the verbs are actually are used with objects, right? So that's why dative case is very important. So let's take a look at the examples here with dative cases and verbs.
მე წყალს ვსვამ, შენ ღვინოს სვამ, ის ლუდს სვამს. ჩვენ წყალს ვსვამთ, თქვენ ღვინოს სვამთ, ისინი ლუდს სვამენ. მე წყალს ვსვამ, შენ ღვინოს სვამ, ის ლუდს სვამს. ჩვენ წყალს ვსვამთ, თქვენ ღვინოს სვამთ, ისინი ლუდს სვამენ.
So the first example here is მე წყალს ვსვამ, I drink water. წყალს ვსვამ, I drink water. შენ ღვინოს სვამ, you drink wine. ღვინოს, dative case. Is ლუდს swams, he or she. Ludi, beer. Ludis swams. Ludis drinks, swams, drinks for the third person singular form, right? Ჩვენ წყალს ვსვამთ, we drink water. თქვენ ღვინოს სვამთ, you plural form or polite way of saying it. You drink water, თქვენ ღვინოს სვამთ, and ისინი ლუდს სვამენ. They drink beer. I don't drink beer, but they do. They drink beer. ისინი ლუდს სვამენ. Third person, plural form, right? Now let's take a look at the second example.
მე წერილს წერ, შენ მეილს წერ, ის მესიჯს წერს. ჩვენ წერილს წერთ, თქვენ მეილს წერთ, ისინი მესიჯს წერენ. მე წერილს წერ, შენ მეილს წერ, ის მესიჯს წერს. ჩვენ წერილს წერთ, თქვენ მეილს წერთ, ისინი მესიჯს წერენ.
The next example here goes მე წერილს ვწერ. მე წერილი, it's a letter. It means a letter. წერილი, but the dative case will be წერილს ვწერ. I write a letter. შენ მეილს წერ. Mail, but maili in Georgian. Mail in English, but maili in Georgian. But E drops down and adding შენ მეილს წერ. You write an email. And the third example phrase here is messages წერს. Is he or she messages. Message is a message. The word came from English, so it's exactly very similar, right? Message and a message in Georgian. But E drops out, so you have to say messages for the dative cases. Is messages წერს. He or she writes a message. And then ჩვენ წერილს ვწერთ. We write a letter. თქვენ მეილს წერთ. You plural form. You write a mail, right? The last example, last phrase here. ისინი messages წერენ. ისინი messages წერენ. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Please revise about the verb conjugation and also dative cases because they are kind of tightly connected with each other. So it's very important to remember or revise about them together. So that's pretty much it. Thank you so much and abahe. またね. Somehow my 10th video about plural forms wasn't uploaded on YouTube, so I have to re-upload. I wanted to re-upload the video, but I actually deleted the video. So I have to, after this video, I have to retake the video about the 10th video about plurals.